Hey Trey, congratulations on making it to the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
So over the course of this year, y'all have taken a little bit of criticism for a lot of the sacks that you've given up. But your offensive coordinator really talked about how it is that you guys step up in those big moments when the team really needs you. Is there something kind of internally that happens that allows y'all to really dial in those clutch moments?
Um, I think it kind of goes to just like feeling the game. I mean, it's one thing about this team and this group. I think that has taken us to where we are right now is we're so connected, and you can just really, I mean, when the team needs it, when we need it, I mean, we get it done. We've had some slip ups, we've had some less than stellar performances, but at the end of the day, when it's crunch time and we need it, and the game's on the line. We just all come together. You circle the wagons, you get closer than you've ever been, and you find a way to get it done, and that's what we've been able to do.
Rodrigo Delgado, end zoners, go ahead.
Hi, Trey, how are you? This is Rodrigo Delgado from Lima, Peru with Ten Owners, Latin American Network. The O-line has shown much improvement from the Titans matchup to the Chiefs game last week. What have you learned as an offensive lineman from those two games that will help you prepare for such a dominant pass rush from the Rams?
I think we saw in the Titans game. I think what we saw was just like slip ups that just crept in at every spot, just easy technical things, just technique work that slipped up, and you can't have that happen against talented fronts like we saw with the Titans. And I think we really just went back to practice for the next week and really just nailed down and iron down those technical things that we let slip. And I think that's just that was the biggest change we saw from the Titans game to the Chiefs game. It's just really just buying into our technique and really just getting back to ourselves. Nobody playing outside themselves or trying anything crazy, just getting back to the basics of what we've been coached to do.
Okay, Robert Mays, go ahead.
Hey, Trey, I'm curious, when Joe got there last year, what changed just about, I don't know, the feeling in the building, going to work every day, having that sort of guy as a part of the franchise? What does it change about just the day-to-day feel of how you guys went about your business?
I think it's just exciting. I mean, change is exciting, and I think that's what he brought more than anything. I mean, it's, at least speaking for myself, it was just kind of like, you know what, we all saw what he did at LSU. We know this guy's a baller. He's a great player, and it's just exciting to add guys like that to the team, add guys like that to the roster. So I think that was the biggest changes. It was just like kind of a new spark of life, kind of.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Jake Malik, Sideline Sports.
Hey, Trey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. So you've been on the team for a while. I talked to CJ earlier this week. He was talking about paying his dues. I'm sure you're feeling that, but I want to talk more about, you've worked with a couple different quarterbacks, well, really just two main quarterbacks, right? But Joe last year, you got to work with him for a little bit before his injury. You were, those weeks leading up to his injury, and then you played a full season with him. What have you seen out of him that he's just doing better in year two now? You guys have a pretty close relationship as center and quarterback. I know a lot of people don't think of it like that, but it's a pretty important relationship. So being so close to him, working with him so often, what have you seen from his start last year all the way up until now?
Oh, you can definitely tell the game slows down. The game took, especially for a guy like him who already came in brilliant. Like he's very intelligent with the football. He knows what we need to do. He knows what he wants to do. He's the ultimate competitor. Last year, I think he was just kind of dependent on those things. And this year, the game definitely slowed down. He's able to see things faster because he can anticipate those things. And he knows how to control the game. He's playing chess. He's playing chess out there where he's already counting moves ahead. He knows situations we're going to be in, football situations we're going to be in before we even get in them. So he knows the exact call. He doesn't have to wait on Zach. He doesn't have to wait for guys. He knows exactly what's going to go on. So I think that would be the biggest change. It's just the game slowed down for him.
James Palmer, NFL Network, you're up.
Trey, I'm curious what your approach is in the middle against Aaron Donald. A, do you guys just not stop watching film of him over these 2 weeks? And is scheme more important because you know his physical traits and you know how dominant he can be there? Scheming away from him, is that almost more important in stopping him?
I think it's a combination of both. Of course, you can't scheme-wise, you can't ignore the fact that he's a great player. Nobody can deny that. Aaron Donald is a great player. But yeah, like you said, it's watching film. It's knowing exactly what you have to do. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's about what we do. We can't control what they do. He's a great player. He's gonna do great. I'm sure. But it's about what we do. It's about how we control what we can control. So it's a lot of film. It's a lot of repetition of like I said earlier, of just basic technical things that when you play talented guys like Aaron Donald, sometimes you want to step out of yourself. You want to do a little bit too much because you think that'll help you. When in the end it ends up hurting you, because talented guys like Aaron Donald, the Von Millers, those guys, they take advantage of offensive linemen who just play outside themselves, play poor technique. They just see it and they're able to capitalize on those things. So it's a combination, I would say, of film study, the practicing the basics, and of course, I mean, the scheme definitely plays a part in it as well.
Nice.
All right, let's go to Chris Ryan from WGIR.
Hey Trey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Awesome. So what do you think has it meant to the Bengals fans, to the franchise, and obviously you've been there for a while, to be at this point, given what the franchise has been? What have you sensed about the meaning of this moment?
I mean, it's huge. It's incredible to me to to be in Cincinnati and just see everybody so happy. It really affects people, like their day-to-day lives, whether it's the person bagging groceries in the grocery store or even the people that watch my dog, that I'm fortunate enough to have babysit my dog. It's just, everyone's so much happier. The city's alive. The city has a fire, has a spark, and it's great. It's incredible. I mean, and we just got to see that at the rally before we left for LA. Just seeing the excitement and the support we have from the city is something that I haven't seen in my years prior to this year. So it's a huge change, a huge switch in energy, and I love it.
Charlie Goldsmith, go ahead.
Trey, over the course of the year, Joe's gotten a lot better making these plays outside the pocket. How has the line had to adjust as Burrow has taken that skill to a new level?
I don't think it's much. I don't think it's much adjusting. It's just knowing that's the kind of quarterback we have. I mean, that's the kind of guy he is. He can make those plays, and they're great plays. And it's all about just sustaining the blocks. Just knowing that's the kind of quarterback you got. So you can't have an internal play clock. You got to play through the duration of the whistle. And you got to give him all the time he needs, whether that be 3 seconds or whether that be 15 seconds. Just keep playing, play to the end of the whistle.
Let's go to Laurel Fowler from Dayton Daily News.
Thank you. Congratulations on making it here, Trey.
Thank you.
I don't know if anyone's asked this. I'm sorry, I just jumped in. But how are you feeling physically? Just, it's been a long year for you coming back from your own knee surgery last year. How are you feeling physically?
Great. Great. The excitement of being in the Super Bowl knocks all that physical kind of wear and tear off. We've been fortunate. I mean, we had this last week to kind of get our bodies back. But over the season, I would say beginning of the season it was a little rough, and as the season's progressed, I think where a lot of guys and to be honest, a lot of parts of my body other than my knee have felt worse than my knee has. As I've gotten over the year mark from the surgery, I've definitely seen an improvement in how it feels, for sure.
All right, Oliver Wilson, TalkSport.
Hi there, Trey. The last time the Bengals played the Rams was actually back in London, in England. I'm just wondering, have you noticed any similarities in the preparation for that game, with, of course, the travel coming across to the UK, and the similarities in getting ready for this Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't really think of it that way, but now that you say that, it is a lot of similarities. It was having to accommodate the travel and the different schedule and all the fanfare and the things that go around these games. So there's a lot of similarities. I hadn't really thought about it that way, but for sure, you're 100% correct.
Let's go to Paul Daner, The Athletic.
Hey Trey, congratulations, man.
Thanks.
I just wanted to kind of ask you a little bit about Andrew Whitworth, who you know when you first came in. What was it like coming into a locker room where he kind of led it and owned it in a lot of ways? And what were your experiences with him as a young guy? And what is it like to know that he's still playing and he's going to be on the other side of the Super Bowl?
I'll start with the last one. It's unreal to think that he is still playing. He is. That is crazy. It's a testament to him and it's just the work that he puts in and the kind of guy he is that he's still out there grinding, still playing, still producing at the level that he is. And coming into the locker room with him, it, like you said, from the first day I stepped into the locker room, I can always remember Whit being the guy to look at, like from everyone. Everyone looked to Whit. He was a great leader and he taught me a lot. I spoke about this earlier in the week, but he taught me a lot about just what it means to be a pro and how to prepare yourself without having a coach kind of lead you by the hand and tell you exactly what to do, or being coddled and told what you have to do every second of the day. That was one thing I thought he was very good at, was just being a pro and knowing exactly what he needed to be prepared, whether that's physically, mentally, whether it's getting his body right, where it's going to yoga, whether it's getting whatever kind of treatment he needed. It was that kind of stuff. And I mean, that's what has him still playing at such a high level as he's playing at now, is just his ability to manage himself like a grown man. So I think I learned, that was a huge thing I learned from Whit. So yeah.
All right, let's go to Aditi with the NFL Network.
Hi, Trey. I want to ask you about your run game. Why is it important, even when the pass game is so hot, to keep running, to keep at it? And what is it about you guys and about Mixon that even in the first quarter, when those are 1 and 2 yard runs, they turn into 8 and 11 yard runs in the third quarter?
I mean, it's important because you want to stay on the field. You want to control the clock. That I would say that's the most important part about the run game. But I think what we've seen over these games is just sticking with the run game. Joe running physical, continuing to call the runs, is that you just wear teams down. Like you said, the pass game has been great. When we get in that third quarter, that fourth quarter, when we need to really control the clock, we need to stay on the field as offense. We need to control things. It's all about just taking it to the guys, just taking it, and it eventually it breaks. It's like a dam. It just breaks. You just keep pushing, keep pounding on them, and that's when you see those 2 yards become 7, become 11. That's when you get those late touchdowns, those late 15-yard touchdowns. At the end of the game, it's just because just wearing guys out over the duration of the game.
All right, let's go to Zambor Parag from Arena 4.
Hey, Trey, thanks for your time. You're a starter in this team since 2017, but this must be the biggest game of your career to date. How challenging will it be to call everything on the line against this Rams D-line in an environment that is essentially an away game for you?
To be honest, I'm treating it like any other away game. I think all of them are challenging. You have to deal with crowd noise. You have to deal with being in a hostile environment, and you know what? That's how we like it. That's where we thrive. That's where we've shown to thrive. So I'm approaching it like another away game, and I expect to call it as such.
All right, let's go back to a DT for a follow-up.
Okay, so Trey, what we were just talking about, running the ball and sticking with the run. When your head coach is a former quarterback and your OC is a former quarterback and you have about 8 coaches that are quarterbacks, is it hard to convince them to stick with the run?
No, I don't think so. I think Zach's done a great job of getting us to the place that we need to be in. And look, we talk about the run. You definitely want to run the ball, but at the end of the day, as somebody that's on the field, I'm for whatever play gets the most yards, whether it's a run or a pass. But I think our coaches, I think Zach, I think BC, I think they've done a great job of getting us in the right plays that we need to be in, whether it's run or pass.
Mike Petraglia, go ahead.
Hey Trey, how are you doing? Congrats on
Great.
getting here.
Thanks so much.
You betcha. Wanted to ask you about something Carson Palmer, the former Bengal quarterback, said this morning, and he said that it means a lot to the offensive line to see their quarterback get up and know that he can take a hit. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he was saying. It means the world to the offensive line that, you know, maybe once or twice somebody gets beat, quarterback gets hit, but Burrow's there to get up off the ground right away. What does that do for you, and why is that so important to have a mentally and physically tough quarterback?
I mean, it's just a display of toughness. I mean, of course, you never want to see him getting hit back there, but when he just jumps up like nothing happened, like it's no big deal. You're just like, this guy, he's just that display of toughness makes you want to fight for him. I mean, that's exactly what it does. It's a display of, it's kind of like a nonverbal way of communicating. Hey, I'm in this fight with you. A lot of people see the quarterback position and they think you just sit back there and you pat the ball, and you throw the ball, and you get out the way. But to see him take those hits and get up, it's just like he's in the middle of the fight with us. He's right there in the trenches with us, and he's battling right there with us. So it's definitely encouraging. It's a huge encouragement.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Mike DiGiovanna.
Hi, Trey. Just want to follow up on that Aaron Donald question. As the center, what is your responsibility for sort of knowing where he is at all times, and how are you going to handle him?
We have, I mean, obviously different kind of schemes and plans in place, but obviously, I mean, I'm just calling the game like normal. I'm just IDing the fronts like I've been coached to do like normal. But of course, you have to know where 99 is. He's a huge playmaker on the team, and when we're in a position to help there, when we're in a position to be there and get an extra double team there, that's what we'll do.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Prabhat Seelam from Back Sports.
Hi, Trey. You've been here since 2016. I wanted to ask what it's been like to see this thing come full circle, and then over that time, the relationships you've built with the guys on the offense, from Joe to the rest of the guys on your offensive line.
This has been a crazy journey. It's been amazing. I'm still kind of going through it. When I lay down at night, I'm just like, this is wild to think we're in LA in the Super Bowl. I can't believe it. Just thinking about the different teams I've seen over the years being here in Cincinnati. I don't know if I ever thought we would have been here, especially not over the past couple of years. I mean, it's been rough. It's been some sad days around there, but all of it turned around. It feels great to come out on the other side of it. But I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Just the relationships you've built with the guys on the offense over the time you've been here, like with Joe and the guys on the front five.
Mm-hmm. Well, my relationship with Joe has, I guess, I would say it was not the most important, but I guess it was the one that was kind of unique in that we had the relationship from quarterback to center, and then we also had the separate kind of connection on the ACL level last year in this offseason, both trying to get back and get ready for this season from that. So, I mean, that relationship's been great. Love Joe, really appreciate him. I mean, I think he's the man. He's definitely a baller. Nobody can take that from him, but he's just a great guy. He's a great teammate. And I love and appreciate him. The offensive line, I've seen a lot of linemen come through here at this point. I've seen a lot of the O-line room has looked very different over the years I've been there. It's been a lot of different faces, a lot of new faces. We always have quality guys in there. And this particular room that I'm in right now, I mean, we've caught a lot of flack. Some of it deservingly so, but I'll say one thing about this group of guys is that each and every one of these guys, I'll ride with them every day. I mean, I love them. It's a great family environment. I enjoy coming to work with them every day. I enjoy sitting in the meetings with them. I enjoy the dog days of camp with Pollock with these guys. it really is. It's really a tight knit group, and I mean, all these relationships, whether it be Joe or Q or Hakeem or Jonah or Isaiah, all these relationships, I think that's kind of what, at least for me, I lean on in those moments when we were talking about earlier. How do we get it done when we struggle in the game? How do we able to get the protection right for one play? I think that's kind of the things that it falls back on is I'm able to look at the eyes of Joe. I'm able to look Q in the eye. Able to look Jonah in the eye, Hakeem, Isaiah, and know that these guys, no matter what, whether it's right or wrong, I know that they're going to give me all they got. And at the end of the day, that's all I can ask, and that's all we can ask from each other. And I think that's what we're getting, and that's what has allowed us to make it here.
All right, just a reminder to our media members, please add your outlet to your display name so I can identify you. We'll go to Mike K from NJ.com next.
Hey, Trey, congratulations on getting here. I was just curious, is there a center that you really enjoy watching in your off time or that you kind of look up to in the league as far as playing style, or maybe like, hey, I wish I could do that, or hey, I want to do that in a game? From the perspective of playing style?
It's kind of a collection of them. Actually, Coach Pollock does a great job of just from the first year he was here, just giving me different centers to look up, just sending me different cut-ups. Lately, I mean, just preparing for this game, I looked at Jensen a lot from Tampa. But in general, to be honest, my biggest the centers that I always wanted to be like were Pouncey, were the Pouncey brothers. I thought they were great. I thought they were super athletic. They weren't the hugest, but they were fantastic. They were able to move. They were great. And so that's who I did look up to when they were still playing. But as of late, it's just been kind of a collection, depending on what team we're playing that week, and seeing what centers have played against them and who did well and what worked for them. So it's kind of a mixed bag. But I would say the latest has been Jensen.
Just follow up to that. If you were advising a center coming in from this draft, just used to playing in college, coming in with no prior knowledge, obviously the NFL, what advice would you give them if they were going to start at center tomorrow?
It's all about the playbook. It's all about the playbook, and just making decisive decisions. Trust yourself, and just, I mean, anybody, whether you're a center or not, the first thing you got to do is know the playbook. Then at center, I think the next thing is being confident that you know the playbook, because guys look for you for the call, they look for it quickly, and they look for you to make it decisively. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just make a decision, make it fast, and trust yourself. And in order to trust yourself, you have to really be confident in the work you put in the playbook.
Let's go to Ben Spiegel.
Hi, Trey. I was wondering what it is about Joe's personality that seems to allow him to reach guys in the locker room from different backgrounds, different experiences, different ethnicities, different walks of life, and be able to go ahead and kind of have everyone trust and believe in him.
He's a competitor. I mean, everybody relates in competition, especially as football players. We can all relate. And I mean, you spent your life being a competitor to get here, to be in the NFL, to get to this point. So you have to respect any kind of competitor that comes in, and Joe is the ultimate competitor, whether it's chess, whether you're tossing bean bags, when you're out there on the field, he is the ultimate competitor, and everybody can relate to that. And aside from being the ultimate competitor, he wins a lot too. So that's an added bonus. And I think that's the way he's earned a lot of guys' trust and respect very quickly. He's undeniable.
Thank you.
Let's go to Ali Barnsell.
I'm from Turkey, buddy. I'm from Turkey, Istanbul. Yeah. I hope to be in how you feel in to be in the Super Bowl. What's your feelings? I'm just wondering about it. You have bad days sometimes. Injuries, cuttings, but now you're in the Super Bowl. I'm wondering your feelings.
It's like living a dream. I mean, this is what you start playing football for, is to be in the Super Bowl. And a lot of guys go their whole career without ever making an appearance. And I feel blessed, feel very fortunate. I'm very thankful. I'm appreciative of the guys around me, of the coaches of this team. And it's still it just feels like a dream, like that to even just to be here for real.
All right, let's go to Jeff Hobson.
Thank you, Trey. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Fine, thank you. One thing, what did you like from Jensen that he did against Darnold? What kind of caught your eye? And a follow-up is going to be, we'll go ahead and answer that. Well, and a follow-up would be, talk about the drive against Kansas City, that overtime drive, what that meant, what it was like, what that meant to you. Can you carry that momentum into the Super Bowl? Thank you.
Okay. For Jensen, I think they had a plan that a lot of guys have. I mean, it seemed like they were just turning to Donald a lot, turning protections and stuff to Donald. But I think I was just looking at how he approached that. Even just, is that a guy that you fly over there and you smother? Is it a guy that you play off of with your handling? And I think he did a combination of both. And I think in that game, watching him play, I think I'm able to see the benefits and the drawbacks of both techniques. And so that's why I think that game is for me. That's why I like watching him go against Aaron. The last game, that last drive was huge. I think going back to what we talked about the run game, that's when we saw those big runs. We got some big personnel, and we saw those runs pop. Finally, we started getting some good chunk runs in there, and I think that's just because over the course of the game, I mean, whether you're running the ball or you're passing the ball, guys get tired, and as long as you keep a good amount of runs in, which I think Zach's done a great job. I mean, eventually the dam breaks, and eventually guys are just worn out, and you just keep pouring it on them, and that's what we were able to do at the end of the game to finally get some chunk runs when we needed it, and really get us down there in a great position, great field position.
All right, we've got time for a couple more questions here. Let's go to Soren Kierkegaard Abbey from the Nordic Entertainment Group.
Hey Trey, you were talking about the leadership that Joe Burrow carries with him, but there's also a lot of talk about the swagger he carries himself with. Before the Chiefs game, he wore a turtleneck and these special glasses. Is there something to it, the kind of swagger he carries? Does it translate to the field, or is it just running games off the field?
I mean, that's what he likes to wear. I mean, that's his swag. It works for him. People love it. He loves it, and he's playing lights out. So I have no qualms with it, no problems with it. Does it translate? I mean, I like it. So it works for me.
All right, let's go to David Malandra Jr. from Philly Sports Blitz.
Two-part question for you. One, was there a particular game or moment during the season that you guys thought, okay, we're going to be making it to the Super Bowl? And were there any defenses this season that resemble any resemblance of the Rams that you're getting ready to play?
Starting from the second question, defenses that I think kind of resemble. If I had to pick one, I would say the Chargers game, just from a front standpoint. I didn't play that game, but I remember as I was preparing for it, that's the game that I was out for the ankle. But preparing for it, like just from the multiple front perspective, I think that's the game that kind of most resembles the Rams defense. And the first question, to be honest, to think that you would ever be in Super Bowl, no. I mean, it's been one of those seasons where, I mean, from the first Baltimore game, I was like, we're a really good team. I'm like, we're a talented team. The Steelers games, we're a talented team. And I think it was just kind of like, it was always that feeling of like, man, we're good. Like we have the capability. If we don't beat ourselves, I think we're capable of being in any game and beat any team if we don't beat ourselves. But I think the way the season went, I don't feel like I was ever in a position to look as far as the Super Bowl. It was always 1 week at a time for me, and I think for a lot of the guys on the team, and I think that's why another reason why we've had the success we've had is because everyone has kind of narrowed their focus to 1 week at a time. So I don't think there was a point that I feel like we could be in the Super Bowl. I was just like, man, we're good.
All right. I think we will end it on that note. Trey, that's your time. Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.
Inside, slide and outside. And he has a guy named Mike Stafford, all different type of arm angles, throws.